Georgetown, Georgetown Central. Anybody here from Georgetown North? Where the dog from? Dog from Central. We have a PPM dog in the swamp too, you know. We wear his shirt year round. Oh, it's so good to be here with you all and feel that breeze. Listen, I have done 7 meetings in 5 days last week. And every meeting we felt that breeze. That's not Christmas breeze this time of the year, you know. That's PPM breeze. That is PPM breeze you feel it, not Christmas breeze. That is the wind of change, ladies and gentlemen. That is the wind of change because we need action. We need steady hands. We need leadership that do not get distracted by the drama. What we need, ladies and gentlemen, is proven, stable leadership. A team that can hit the ground running come May the 1st. Many of them are here tonight in support for us. And as it was said earlier, we set out to build that team slowly and deliberately. We listened to the people, we did our research. We were told that the people respected the PPM. They admired our honesty. They appreciated our integrity. They respected our representation during difficult times. But they also said to us, they want to see a little bit of a change. They want to see some diversity. And so we set out to build our team. And I say to you tonight that we have built the perfect team for this election. A team that represents a wide cross-section of our people. A team that has a balance of youth and experience. And a team that has perfect gender balance. In fact, no. I would like to see more women join our team. If we could have made it to 19, we would have filled it with women if we had them. But we have a good gender balance. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what I offer. And that's what the PPM offers. Action from day one and not a lot of talk. Because while some talk about what they might do for Georgetown North, I can show you what I have already done. And while others talk about what they might do for this country, I can point to what the PPM has already done. Lots of talk, plenty of drama, but when it's time to deliver, they quit. They go missing. They disappear like that last $50 before payday. Gone. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, character isn't measured by what you say, but by what you do. Much like real leadership, it isn't in the speech, it's in the results, ladies and gentlemen. Because while some are out there making noise, we in the PPM are known for making progress. You know what is interesting about government? When it's working, you barely notice it. When your kids have a good school to go to, when your roads are drivable, when the economy is growing, when life is good, you don't stop to thank the government, you just live your life. But when things fall apart, suddenly everybody notices. That's the burden of good leadership. The better we do our job, the more people take us for granted. Can you remember when Cayman felt different? When people could breathe? When grocery bills didn't make your heart skip? when rent wasn't most of your paycheck, when you could find a job, when you could move forward and feel secure in your own country? Do you remember that? That wasn't luck, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't magic. That was when the PPM was in charge. Is your life better today than it was 4 years ago? No, it isn't. That is proven stable leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, our people are struggling. When a single parent gets a job, and even a job they like, by the time they get a babysitter for their 2 kids, 1 hour before they go to work, 1 hour after they get back from work, by the time they take out their insurance, by the time the pension comes out, and if they have to pay back the loan to get their uniforms, by the end of the week, ladies and gentlemen, they're at a negative. That is not living. Our people are struggling. And ladies and gentlemen, while some are asking for a chance, we are ready to roll up our sleeves, get the job done, because we have the right team to do it. We don't need to have fancy videos to prove who we are. You'll see it when the cost of living starts to ease. You'll feel it when immigration makes sense again. You'll know it when the country feels like it's working for you, similar to that nice breeze you feel tonight. But memories are short, people. Memories are short, ladies and gentlemen, and people forget what was done. The roads we built and the roads we started, the homes we made possible, including the 25 acres we bought on Linford Pearson Highway, and we will build homes for our Georgetown people. Even the homes they're building in Northside, now who bought that land? PPM bought that land. The small businesses we help to grow. Those same people asking, what did the PPM do? You know something? They used to sleep sound at night because of the work we did. They made their money because of the work we did. And now they're questioning us? Now they want to enter politics and say we did a bad job? No, they're all but retired because of why? They had a good life under the PPM government. Shouting about it. Somebody asked who. I said, one that had a very successful accounting firm, one that had the largest food chain in the island. Very successful people. And when did they make their money? Under the PPM. That is what real leadership looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens because someone does the work. Someone sat in meetings. Someone fought for policies. Someone made tough calls. Someone cared for you. You the people, ladies and gentlemen. And that someone was this PPM government. We talked about it already tonight. But under before COVID, the PPM government had the lowest unemployment in our history. We found it at 10.5% in 2013, and we reduced it to 5% before we left office. We had record tourism numbers. We even grew tourism before they built the hotel rooms. I don't know where they were staying, but we brought them. We had budget surpluses year after year. We reduced the government debt by $300 million. Over 50% reduction in the government debt. And we'll do it again with Roy McTaggart, ladies and gentlemen. We will do it again. And we weren't out bragging. because we were too busy working. Because in the PPM, we believe in action. Let me remind you of a few more things. We increased pension payments for our seniors and most vulnerable from $450 when we took office. Who can live on $450 a month? So when we left office to $950 a month, and we continued to push even while in opposition until they brought it up to the $1,500 that it is today. We cut red tape so Caymanians could finally start their own businesses. We allowed people that had a little criminal record from a mistake 20 years ago to be able to realize their dreams and to start their own businesses. We took it further and created the Center for Business Development. Not just a showpiece, but a real resource for Caymanian entrepreneurs where they could go and realize their dreams with all of the support they need, whether it's marketing, legal, accounting, or business practices, all there available for them at the Center for Business Development. All to help realize the dreams of our Caymanian entrepreneurs. We kept Cayman off the FATF blacklist, protecting our financial services. We built roads. We also initiated Plan Cayman. We didn't choose between building for our people and protecting our environment. We did both because we all want to protect Cayman, but we also need to live in it. Some of those, ladies and gentlemen, with the loudest voices saying no roads, no more development, have not once had to wonder how they're going to pay rent to feed their families. They talk like Cayman is a fairy tale, but we live in the real Cayman here in Georgetown, ladies and gentlemen. We live in the real Cayman. The Cayman where we build roads that connect people to work and to opportunity. And at the same time, we have to review the National Development Plan so that we can guide that growth responsibly to protect what makes Cayman special, while still creating space for our people to thrive. That is what leadership is, ladies and gentlemen. Leadership is not choosing sides. It's choosing Cayman for Caymanians. We can protect the land and grow the economy. We can save our mangroves and still build homes for our people. That is not compromise. That is not compromise, ladies and gentlemen. That is simply good governance. And the PPM knows how to do it. Remember, as we spoke about earlier, when COVID hit, not one life lost. While other countries were dealing with major losses of life, we were organizing essential services. While others pointed fingers, we pointed the way forward. And on New Year's Eve that year, while the world was still in lockdown, we were out celebrating without masks and hugging each other and giving thanks to the Lord for sparing us in the Cayman Islands. And ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't by chance. That was proven, stable leadership. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we were delivering nationally, I never stopped working right here on the ground for Georgetown North. I partnered with the RCIPS for community cleanups, worked with MRCU and NRA to clear out the dikes and reinstate the culverts under the Esther Tibbetts bypass to ease the flooding in Courts Road and in the Washington Boulevard area. We upgraded drainage by digging deeper and increasing the size of the drains, reducing the times that we were underwater. I pushed for bike lanes and crosswalks to make our streets safer. I worked with DEH to remove over 100 junk cars from our neighborhoods. My office helps seniors and families with everything from government forms to pharmacy visits. We assist with job applications, resumes, and sometimes even transport. And ladies and gentlemen, it would be remiss of me not to recognize The lady that keeps me propped up, that keeps me going day after day in my office, Miss Lynette. Where are you, Miss Lynette? And I can tell you, I think she's just as popular as me in Georgetown North. We support our senior events, and we held family fun days and back to school drives. That's everyday work, quiet work, real work, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I do more. I help a lot of other people. I help people from all walks of life, and I help people with all sorts of issues. But ladies and gentlemen, what I don't do is blast it all over Facebook or anywhere for that matter. What I don't do is put people's faces and pictures up for the world to see their struggles. What is the purpose of helping someone if you're going to rip the dignity right away from them afterwards? People that I help know that I help them, and that's all that's important to me. And that is why I have been re-elected 3 times, and I will be re-elected on April 30th as your representative for Georgetown North. I'm not going to help you and then embarrass you by telling your neighbors or putting it out there for the world to see. No, folks. That is not Joey Hugh. That is not Joey Hugh. What Joey Hugh does, he does for you. That is not me. If I have to do that to get elected or re-elected, I don't want it. That is not why I hire people. That is not what got me here. Now people, this country is at a crossroads. Caymanians are feeling it. They're feeling it in their pockets, in their homes, in their hopes. People are struggling to keep up. Caymanians feel like they're being asked to wait their turn while others move ahead. And many are left wondering, many of us are left wondering, what happened to the country I love? What happened is simple. Country lost its direction. Too many different agendas, as we saw demonstrated down here this evening. Not enough shared vision, as we saw demonstrated this evening. No consistent plan to deal with the cost of living, with housing, with immigration. And what is the result? The people have been left to feel like they're out on their own. But that ends April 30th when the PPM sweeps the election and takes office. It's not about pointing fingers. Or everybody's pointing at the PPM, we're this, we that. This is not pointing fingers, ladies and gentlemen. What I just told you is about facing facts. We need unity. We need stability. We need proven, stable leadership. The PPM is not just coming back. We're coming back with fire, with focus, with a team that knows how to govern. We are not perfect. No party is. But when we are in charge, the country moved forward, and we are going to do it again. No experience, just results. No experiments, just results. Because Caymanians deserve more than talk. You deserve action. Ladies and gentlemen, when we moved to opposition, we didn't slow down. We brought motions that matter to your daily life. We brought motions to lower the taxes, the fuel on CUC bills so that your CUC bill could be lower to help you out. We brought motions to incentivize affordable housing from the private sector. A motion to protect people from unfair banking practices. Not once has the PPM team ever walked away from its responsibility to this country. And not once did I walk away from my responsibility to the people of Georgetown North. Georgetown North. When you needed me, I was there. When you faced flooding or hurricanes, I faced it with you. When you were shut in for COVID, I was next to you. When you celebrate, I celebrate. And when you feel sorrow, I feel sorrow with you. I have never forgotten the people of Georgetown North, and I can tell you what, the PPM has never forgotten you either. Not when we were in opposition, not when it got difficult, not when it got unpopular. While others chase power, we serve people. We don't back down when the pressure is high. We don't quit when the work gets hard. We say it because of our motto, for love of country. Repeat that with me, for love of country. We never ever give up on our people, and we will never quit or give up on Cayman. I hear those out there saying they can do better.
No way.
But running a country isn't about titles and ambitions. It's about experience and execution. When you're running a business and a department isn't doing well, you can just cut it. You can shut it down. But when you run a government, you have to have empathy. When a family needs housing or a child needs a surgery, you don't cut the services, you provide them. This isn't business. This is governance. This is people's lives we're talking about. This is not a business plan. This is leadership, proven stable leadership. When they come to you, you tell them, we don't have no time for no on-the-job training. We don't have no time for people that can quit us. What we need is proven stable leadership. So Georgetown North, my family, this election is not about experiments or independence. It's about action. It's about choosing a team that's tested and proven.